Hi YouTube, Darth here. Development continues on the community test environment, and this week was pretty busy, if just a little bit less than last week. For the gameplay you're seeing today, I was playing the new game style, Classic Mode. Classic Mode is halfway between normal and hardcore, and it's definitely a ton of fun, so I recommend checking it out if you're playing on the CTE. But enough about Classic Mode, let's talk about the changes. One of the biggest changes to come to the CTE this week really can't be tested or enjoyed by anybody on the CTE. But it's good news to consoles, as the high-frequency updates are also going to now be enabled for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. If you're not familiar, the high-frequency update increases the rate at which your client communicates with the server and in theory gives you better responsiveness. Another update to the netcode is that they've implemented some server-side fixes for server degradation. The story here being, the longer servers would run, they would slowly get worse and worse. Hopefully this fixes that issue and server admins no longer have to reboot their servers periodically to maintain performance. One of the most interesting changes that they've added to the game is a pre-round ready state on Conquest that players must click in for the round to start. Not everybody on the team has to click ready, as it's only a percentage of players. On PC, this difference will be most noticeable for players with solid-state drives and better systems who load much faster than slower players. I kind of like this change, but it definitely needs a lot more work. For starters, it's easily abused by players in the game and definitely needs to have a hard timer. Can you imagine how annoying it would be if a large number of players simply did not click in to start a match? Additionally, there's no way of knowing if you're going to get a vehicle or not, or who is going to be in it when you start the round. It seems like it will be a good addition, but I'm a bit concerned about its current shortcomings. Especially since without a timer it can massively delay the amount of time required to just get into a game. DICE continue to make changes to game modes on the CTE this week, and obliteration timers on normal and competitive continue to be adjusted. Specifically, the bomb update in normal was changed to 3 seconds and on competitive is now 8 seconds. So if you don't know what this means, the bomb and obliteration on the CTE no longer constantly shows where the player is located, but now pulses to update with them. Another small change came to CTF, where the victory conditions in a tie are no longer whomever captured the last flag, but it now rewards victory to whichever team has the highest score. Finally, the biggest change for game modes was the carrier assault, where an attacking team is no longer spawned inside the carrier. Now, only the parachute spawn is active during the carrier attack phase. While I didn't really get a chance to play with this on the CTE, my assumption is that this is going to make capturing the second point on a carrier much harder. Currently, it's pretty much a gimme, as defenders have little time to set up a defense, and once the first wave gets through, the game is over. This will make games longer, but I think it provides an interesting opportunity for good teams to mount a comeback defense. After last week's time to kill changes, this week DICE made a huge slew of changes to the weapons in the game. DICE is being a bit secretive about the specific changes made to weapons this week, as the stat bars do not yet reflect the changes. More than likely, they're adjusting the specifics after the broad time to kill changes. DICE has stated that some weapons have been buffed and others have been nerfed. Here's the list of all the weapons that have been affected. Additionally, changes were made to the heavy barrel and the muzzle brake, but the specifics are available at the time of this video. So jump in, sight unseen, and give your feedback to DICE on the official forums. This week, DICE has begun work on a reward for players playing on the CTE. Specifically, they're looking at adding specialized camouflage for players who have been their most eager testers. It's a variation of the DICE black camo and will be a lighter gray color instead of the black. They haven't mentioned any specific criteria yet to receive this award, so there's probably still time to receive it if you play on the CTE. As with every week, there's a laundry list of fixes that DICE made to the game outside these major updates. They added a fix for squad members spawning under the terrain. Nothing specific there, just less likely that you'll float to your doom or have a shooting gallery while looking at the world above you. There were some fixes for commander mode assets not activating. Langkang Dam Levolution sounds now work for late joiners. Operation Metro now has blocking volumes to stop players from getting outside the map. Additional collision fixes, continued weapon sight adjustments, they've fixed the dual class exploit, and they've introduced Paracel Storm Rush. So that's the changes this week in the CTE. If you're getting antsy in the pantsy for these changes, DICE developer Tig has mentioned that the patch will come in a few weeks. From what he said, it could be as early as late August or early September, or it could be a few weeks into September. Obviously, everything and anything is subject to change. I'm really excited for all the work they're doing in the CTE, and it really does feel like a whole new game when I jump from the live version into the CTE. If you haven't already and you play on PC, I highly recommend you try playing on the CTE, and I've got the how-to in the description below. If you like this video, please be sure to leave it a like. If you're new around here and you'd like to see more Battlefield 4 videos, please consider subscribing to my channel. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, YouTube.